something that we had to talk about while we had you here is about your dad and, like the legal case that's been going on. I feel like most of us have seen it on the news. Mm-hmm. How has that process been like for you? I know that's it must be a very tough situation. And personally, how do you feel when you see, hundreds of people, talking about your dad? Some stuff is, is
false.
It's false. Mm-hmm. Or, just like negative criticism or just talking shit. How does that make you feel?
And then also you mentioned, you stepped up because of what's going on. Did you have to step up sooner because of what happened, or were those the plans originally?
JLP drugs. JLP
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Agushto podcast. If you guys are new to this channel, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and listen to us on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you listen to your podcast. But today, guys, we're bringing the guest back. Today we have a very special guest.
Yes, sir.
The new CEO of Dell Records, our homie too, Andrew Del Villar. Let's go.
Thank you guys for having me. I know it's been long overdue, and I know we talked about it too, but yeah, of course everything happens for a reason, and now we're here.
Damn, that title sounds crazy. how do you feel when you hear that?
Good. I know it's something that, of course, we knew was going to be coming sooner than later as well, because I know my dad's plan was always to have me take over after he would have stepped down, and like I said, feel good, feel happy, confident, and ready to work.
So this was like your dad's plan, and when he first brought it up to you, was it something that like you were like, oh, I'm down to do this, or were you kind of like, oh, let me see how it is, and then I'll
No, I feel like it was always my dad's plan. Like I said,
Mm-hmm.
I've been working with my dad and in the company for like 9 years. I think I started when I was like 17. So like I said, of course, he's been prepping me throughout the years, and of course the time finally came where he made the decision to do it.
So when you were 17, how old are you right now?
26.
26.
Ya estoy viejito.
No, we're the same age too.
No, we're 20.
Or 25.
Damn.
Well, he's gonna be 20.
I'm gonna be 26, so we're gonna be the same age.
Yeah, but you're not a CEO, pa?
Damn, you
Not yet.
You are. Yeah.
That's great. Guys, this is why I'm not invited them to my birthday party.
Yeah, for real. He's almost turning 26 and he didn't invite us to his birthday party.
It happens. You know who your true friends are, bro.
For reals.
How do you know who your true friends are?
When they invite you to their party.
Oh, God, that's what I'm saying. You didn't invite us last year either. Comment down below what y'all think about that, for real.
Pa la otra, pa.
You guys let me know, but once again, congrats. I mean, the news isn't out yet. We're filming this before. By the time you guys are watching this, like the news is out. I'm pretty sure like Billboard and all these like crazy people are posting about it. Once again, congrats.
Thank you.
We're gonna see each other in. Oh no, that already passed. We saw each other in Vegas. Wasn't I seeing you in Vegas at the Latin Grammys?
Yeah, likewise.
And but yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself. We know, obviously your dad is Andrew Del Villar. He created Dell Records, which is one of the biggest música mexicana record labels. And I feel like not a lot of people knew who Andrew was. Mm-hmm. They will now. Yeah. But tell us a little bit about yourself. How you got started. Growing up. Mm-hmm. Your dad having like the label and like. Ariel Camacho, Regulo Caro, and all these crazy artists.
Mm-hmm, of course. How I grew up, like I said, I think my dad started the label when I was like 8-9 years old. It was in 08, late 08. So, of course, I kind of grew into the music. If I'm being honest, at first I wasn't a fan. I wouldn't hear this music when I was growing up. But little by little, got more involved, hearing the music, liking the music. And like I said, I don't think it was that crazy in my eyes, just because I know, of course, if you put people in my position, we had a lot of artists in the past decade. Of course, like you said, Ariel, Reglo, Gerardo, Los Plebes, Ulises. And for me, I just saw them more as family when they were here. I never saw them as nothing bigger, just because for me, I think we're all the same at the end of the day. It doesn't matter how big, how small you are. So even today, like when I see these big artists, I congratulate them. And I just wish everybody the best as well. So, like you said, me growing up, I never really felt like, you could say, starstruck or nothing, especially being in this industry so young.
Yeah.
Damn, that's a really good answer.
And then when you were in school, like, did people know like that your dad owned Dell Records?
Not really. I always try to keep it low key. It's because I never liked the attention. I don't like being in the limelight or nothing. But of course, I know over time, and it's funny because me and my dad always talk about it's something that I don't like. But I know it's something I'm going to have to grow into and put myself out there, especially with the big label we have. I know someday it was going to come where I have to step up, be on the limelight, and do things like this where, of course, I'm uncomfortable doing it, especially right now. But it's like...
Don't make them uncomfortable.
But it's something I know I'm going to have to get used to and, of course, continue doing as well.
And during these 9 years of you seeing, you know, your dad build this business, what are some challenges and struggles that you see that you seen your dad, like, go through to build this, you know, this huge record label? And I mean, it's, of course, it's like super iconic. It's almost a staple in the in the industry.
Oh, thank you. No, it's been a good, you could say, 17 years, and of course a struggle as well. You've had when he first started in 08, 09, it's when, of course, CDs were still very popular in demand. You had the economy just fell. When my dad started all this, and he had a lot of obstacles. There was not many independent labels. So my dad, of course, he's always been a go-getter, always been somebody to keep on pushing himself. He's never been a person to be comfortable. So he always wants more and more and more, and just to keep on pushing. And like you said, like in these past 17 years, the struggles were, of course, those struggles. And after that, I think it went very well for him as well. Because, of course, Gerardo in his time was a monster. He had Reglo, Noel Torres, Ariel Camacho, Luis Coronel, and a bunch of artists after that as well. So it was a struggle, I could say, in the beginning, but after that, of course, he just had a bunch of great artists after that as well.
Damn.
And then growing up, did you ever have like other careers in mind?
Not the only thing I could say is, or I think, how you mentioned, when you're growing up as a kid, you're like, I want to be a police officer, I want to be a firefighter. It's like those things where you're growing up as a kid and you have those things in mind. I never knew what, like I said, that was my main thing when I was a kid, but you're talking about when I was 6, 7, 8. But since I grew into this, this became what I fell in love with. I don't think I see myself doing anything else. Other ventures, but music is something I always like doing.
So like in high school and stuff, like you weren't like trying to sign up to college or things like that, or you already knew like this?
I did go to college for a little bit. Not that long.
He's like,
we should actually say
us.
how long we went for. I think that's
That'd be
pretty
funny.
crazy.
How long did you go for?
Half a semester.
Alright.
Te ganó.
I went for 2 days.
And he put in his bio, school's not for me.
When I went for my second semester, because I went half, so I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go back, and I went somewhere closer to my house, and then I just signed up, and I never went. So
That's funny because he dropped out first, and then I dropped out after. But before I dropped out, I remember we saw a friend from high school, and he's like, "Hey, how's Jason doing?" And then I was like, "Oh, like he just dropped out of school. He's not working right now." I was like, "Oh shit, he's making it big." I was like, "Nah, you're not doing shit."
It's like se quiere meter electricista, pero
You
no
know what? I'm gonna keep it real with you. So the reason why I didn't continue like going to college is because I thought like my FAFSA didn't go through. So I was just
brother.
wait, because you're what?
My FAFSA is basically like where the government pays
Financial aid.
financial
Yeah,
aid. So I was like, my shit didn't go through. Like I gotta drop out and do something else, you know. But I should have went back.
He didn't try that hard to get
Look, like the whole paperwork is pretty tough.
It is
Not gonna
tough.
lie. Like it was something new for us because like nobody we knew went to college. But I remember I wasn't that mad when I got kicked out because my FAFSA had like just gone through, and I remember they gave me like $5,000, and I was like,
Damn.
I was fucking up for like 3 months, bro.
What did you waste those 5,000 on?
They actually didn't really do much. I think just like the everyday spending stuff. Hanging out with these guys is expensive. Yeah.
Nah.
We actually kind of made you drop out of college.
Yeah, that was kind of crazy.
Well, we didn't make you, but like
It just happened.
It
Because
really
what happened was when they started the podcast, since I had like my own like thing going on, I just went to school, and then I remember like more stuff like started happening, or like, oh, we're going here, we're going there. And I remember what happened was I missed one class, and I guess you could only miss one. So when I missed the second one and I went back, and they did like the calling the names.
roll call.
The roll call, there you go. And they're like, oh, that if I didn't call you, like, let me know. And I was like, oh, you didn't call me. They're like, oh, you're not in here. You've been dropped. I was like, what does that mean? He's like, oh, you've been dropped for missing 2 classes. And I was like, fuck. And then they said in front of everybody too. So I was kind of like, fuck, I don't know what to do. So I just walked out and never went back.
You should
I
just
didn't even ask questions or anything.
You should just went for roll call and left.
Yeah, I didn't think
For
about it.
real?
No, it's because it was a little class. So you can't really do that. Yeah.
Damn. And kind of going back to the label thing, what is some advice that your dad gives you on running a label? I'm pretty sure it's like probably the most difficult thing to do, you know?
It is.
Out of some advice he gives me, don't take nothing personal. It's a business at the end of the day. Because I know sometimes you'll fall in love with projects, and of course things happen overnight or within time. So, like you said, just don't take stuff personal. And there's always gonna be people que te apoya, que no te apoya, and then there's always gonna be people talking no matter what, if you do good or bad.
Yeah.
So not to take nothing personal.
Yeah, that's honestly like a really good advice. I mean, we started a record label not that long ago, and you know, there was like some projects that we tried to work with, and like
It just fell through.
It
best.
didn't go through, but like andamos emputados for like 2 months. But then someone told like, hey, like, you know, like there's a lot of more
Damn,
artists
bro.
out there, and like
Yeah, of course.
just keep exploring. Like, don't fall in love with like the artist or like with the project. Like, just move on. And yeah, that's something we had to like learn last week.
Yeah.
We couldn't sleep, huh?
No. He said he'd been mad for 2 months. That wasn't until like 3 days ago. Yeah.
And Dell Records obviously been a label that's been, you know, in the spotlight for years. How do you guys deal, or how do you deal with the criticism? Because like you said, someone always has something to say, whether, you know, you do a really good job or whether, you know, it doesn't do as good. How do you deal with that, you know, that pressure of the...
To be honest, like if I see it on social media or something, I don't even look at it. I just like scroll past it. Just because, like you said, there's always people going to be talking no matter what, you do good or bad. So it's just like for me, I just don't let it get to me. For the most part, I don't even look at it. I just start scrolling past it because it's like, of course, you don't want that bad energy also around you. So it's like, I'd rather just not see it or not hear it or just things like that.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's one of the toughest things about a label too, because like, let's just say, you know, you a label and an artist like get into an argument. The fans always choose the artist.
Yeah.
And honestly, like before we started this podcast, like we would look at it and be like, you know, like, well, this label that shit's fucked up. But as you like learn more and like you really get into it, and you know, like you start learning little details, you're kind of like, damn, like the artist is kind of in the wrong. But like the label's not gonna be like, they're not gonna make a whole ass fucking video and be like, hey, you know, fuck this artist or whatever, you know, because that's like a bad look. So
no, of course it's a bad look, and of course it's happened in the past as well with us. But it's like, of course, at the end of the day, people are always gonna side with the artist no matter what. Because at the end of the day, when you guys hear music, you guys are fan of the artist, not the label for the majority of the part. And like I said, so for me, it's just more not to hear or even argue with them. Just whenever we have to, whatever commitment we have with ours, we just try to finish with them and
Yeah, sure. I feel like that's gonna be something to. I mean, well, Chewy, he's actually gonna be one of our first artists.
I was telling him a little bit.
We already talked to Chewy, like, hey, we fight. Vamos a dar unas pinches cachetadas, Chewy.
Yo.
I was like, you know, don't think we're gonna be a professional label, bro.
We're fucking going.
I'm gonna be like, okay, let's go Instagram live, bro. Let's do it. Let's get into it. And then did you take that stance like kind of on your own, or is that kind of like what your dad taught you, or is that what you saw him do?
What stands as well
as in like, you know, being professional, just like, you know, don't pay attention to the criticism.
I think it's more on myself, just because how I am as a person. I don't really like drama or nothing like that. So it's like, of course, it's like I've dealt with it a little bit in the past, and when it starts happening, it's just like, of course, you start distancing yourself with them, and whenever the commitment's over, pues cada quien por su lado. And like I said, I just try not to let it get to me, because at the end of the day, there's always going to be a lot of bad comments, especially, like I said, in the industry we're in, and especially if people are going to be siding with the artist. So I'd rather just not see it or just not even pay attention to it.
And then you mentioned how, like, you know, you've gone through this like in the past, and you try to not let it get to you, but at the same time, like, it could be draining. Like, has it ever like affected you like mentally, or like to a point where you're like, fuck, I don't want to do this shit?
Yeah, of course it has. I think especially when you're in that position, it's going to drain you mentally, and sometimes you're like, we have to do this all over again. But like I said, it's the part of the business, especially you want to be in the music industry. It's going to happen no matter what. If you, any good, any bad you do, especially, of course, even if you do good, no matter what, it's going to happen sooner or later, for the majority of the time.
Yeah, because this is like a 24/7 job, you know? It's something that's like, it's nighttime, and like you still got to be dealing with like people, because it's not like other jobs where, like, you know, you clock out and have it, you know, peace out. But yeah, I feel like it's something that's pretty tough that people don't see.
Yeah, and then do you feel like kind of like really want to get into it? How do you feel having to step into, like kind of like your dad's shoes, that role that he did, with Dell Records? I think there's a lot of history behind it, like incredible success. How do you feel having to now do that, knowing how much like success and legacy he's leaving behind?
You know what? And it's funny because me and my dad just talked about it yesterday too. And I told him this: I'm not nervous. I'm not worried. I know, of course, we have a lot of good talent on our roster right now. We have an amazing team, an amazing infrastructure as well. And it's not just only me; it's a whole team behind me, and it was behind my dad as well. So, like I said, I'm not nervous. I'm excited because I know what we're able to bring to the table.
Yeah, I mean, has he told you like certain expectations or like what that he kind of like expects from you in that sense?
No, not really. I've been working with my dad for so long. I already know what he expects. So like he doesn't really tell me much, but I already know what he expects from me as well.
Yeah, and then one thing I remember from like when we interviewed your dad is that he told us how like you guys are very like selective with like who you guys sign. Do you plan on continuing, being selective, or do you guys plan on like signing a few more artists, or like?
Of course, we're always gonna be signing, but we're not just gonna sign anyone. We're always selective of who we sign, who we think has potential. We don't want to have 20, 30 artists, 40 artists sign. I think 15 I think 15 is a sweet spot to have signed because at the end of the day, every artist needs their attention, their time.
Yeah.
So I think with the 15 is more than enough to work on and develop them as well.
And have you guys signed any new talent recently, or like are you planning to sign any new talent maybe after the announcement?
Right now we have 3 artists that of course we're trying to sign by the end of the year. We're just in those last couple steps. And then we just recently signed 3 other artists: Andy Luan, Marco Grania, and Cobian Montana.
Damn, you guys got some heavy hitters then.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask, so like, remembering from when we interviewed your dad, it was he likes to sign artists and like develop them. He doesn't really like to sign like an artist that are already like known or is just like But do you ever have any plans of like signing like a big artist, like bring them to Dell Records?
Of course, if the opportunity comes, why not? But I think it's better to start in the development stage, so like that you could kind of mold them and tell them how to work and things like that. Because when you sign a big artist, they have really high expectations. They already come from who's ever developed up in the past, and it's a whole different ballgame as well. So for me, I prefer an artist in development.
Yeah, and then that's something that you need to have patience with, huh? Because like developing, like it's gonna maybe take like like a year or maybe 2.
It could take a month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, 3 years, 4 years. Never.
Yeah,
Never.
Yeah, honestly,
Never.
Could be.
Yeah, can you tell us a little bit about that process? So an artist signs with you guys. What does that development process looks like?
It could be from video content. So what we usually, and then it's marketing, video content, getting them in the studio, choosing the right singles for them to push on their social platforms. And just we come up with a whole game plan behind that to start pushing out their music. And like you said, it could take 3, 4, 6 months to however long it might take them to hit, or they might never hit.
Damn.
True. And now that it's up to you, what are you gonna look for in an artist to sign to Dell Records?
I think just lo que me gusta a mí when it comes to artists is pues si tienen los ganas, because at the end of the day, like there's a lot of artists in the day and age right now where let's just say they sign to a label and they just sit back and they want us to do all the work, when in reality when people sign they should be putting more work than they're already doing.
Yeah.
Now they have to do a lot more work. They have of course the infrastructure, the team behind them to help them and guide them, but now it's of course it's a lot different.
Yeah, I think there's a huge misconception right there that artists think that they made it once they sign to like a major label, but I feel like that's when the major work starts. That's when you start hustling and grinding to put yourself on the limelight.
Yeah,
So
I think that's when
interesting.
you have like a real fighting chance at making it once you sign to the label. So that's when you gotta go 10 times harder.
Yeah.
Yeah, and talking about like developing artists, is there an artist that you've seen develop from literally from the ground up all the way to the top and like really surprised you, and kind of like you saw them from the very bottom and up to like become a superstar? And what was that experience like for you?
It's happened a couple times. Of course with Ulises and I think Lenny as well have been artists that we developed from the ground up. Ulises was an upcoming artist I think at that time he only had the song Porque Me Enamoré, but of course it wasn't nothing major. And of course, Ulises became a monster overnight. My dad pushed him, had a whole marketing strategy behind him, and he did what he did. And Lenny as well. Lenny, I feel it took a little longer, but he had a lot of hits. Yo Ya No Lo Contigo, Se Acabó, Recordando Manuel. So, like I said, it was just a process over time. And when he hit, and he did very well for himself as well.
Yeah, I remember we were talking between the three of us how one of like the craziest things that Dell Records has done is like, you know, first Ariel Camacho and then
Los Plebes de
Rancho, and then like Ulises Chávez, like just back to back and like just fucking.
Yeah, I remember your dad saying that nobody else has really done that, you know, developing 3 artists in a row from nothing all the way up.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you guys must really have like that formula dialed in.
Yeah, but it's like you said, it's not just us. We also, of course, we work hand in hand with the artists. And when the artists, I feel like at times when the artists no le eche los mismos ganas que nosotros, that's where sometimes you have that little conflict between. But yeah, like, I think, yeah, we have the formula, we have the team to make it happen for a lot of artists. But at the end of the day, we also we have to work as a team. It's not just us and it's not just them.
Yeah, the artists got to do their part because we couldn't get an artist who was one TikTok.
Damn, that's crazy too. I was actually like mentioning.
I was gonna mention that too.
Before we started the recording over there, that sometimes it's like the things that you don't really think about. You know, you'd think an artist would want to, you know, give 200%. You know, now that they have the chance, opportunity to, you know, like chase what they've been saying is their dream, and for you not to see like that energy reciprocated.
No, of course.
Like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I don't know.
And then they blame the label.
And then what do you do in that case?
Yeah.
Like you have, you know, like you're doing your part. They're not really doing theirs. How do you go from there?
It just, for us, well, for me, I just, like you said, just keep on following up, keep on reaching out to them. Because at the end of the day, you need the content. You need the music. You need those things for the artists to be in development, to create their own fan base, to create music. Of course, I think the major thing when the artist doesn't post or put stuff on social media, they have no fan base. They can't identify them when they take out a song or nothing. They're like, oh, who's this artist if they have no following or nothing behind them?
We'll be right back from the break.
What's up, everyone? We're Angel, Diego, and Jason from Agushto, Papá. 100% música regional mexicana, uno que otro chisme, pero sin pasarnos.
We've never pretended to be anything but ourselves, and now we're the #1 Mexican music regional podcast y tenemos nuestra propia disquera.
Esto no pasó de la nada. We hustled, kept our eyes on the prize, locked in and flow frío like Sprite.
La neta, nunca falta en el estudio, cut through the rest con una Sprite.
Sprite, obey your thirst.
All right, guys, we are back from the break, and what I wanted to ask was, you know, aside from Dell Records, do you have any involvement in Distro 7? Because I know you guys like started this whole distribution company.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, as well in Distro 7, I'm also heavily involved. And of course, we're there also trying to sign artists to sign for Distro, etc.
What's that like? Honestly, for the people that don't know, what is it? What is a distribution company?
A distribution company is pretty much, of course, somebody needs to put up your music. You can't do it yourself. A lot of people, there's multiple different distro companies. And my dad also, it's been a couple years he's been wanting to plan it, so we could have also everything in-house. But besides that, we're also seeing in the day and age where a lot of artists, they don't want to sign to a label. They want to be independent. So, of course, it's like being signed to Dell with the whole team infrastructure, but you're not signed to Dell. And we still support them on the distro side as well.
Damn, that's good.
And then what's the difference, well, for like the people that don't know, what's the difference between them uploading like on like DistroKid or TuneCore compared to like Distro 7?
It's if you upload to, let's just say, what was that on DistroKid?
DistroKid, yeah.
Oh, okay. When you upload to DistroKid, it's just pretty much you put in the song, you upload it yourself. But if something happens with claims, etc., there's nobody that's there going to be able to help you physically. And then as us, Distro 7, we have a whole team behind you. And if something happens, of course, we're there to support you also. And also talk to the DSPs, get your placement, and just things like that.
Yeah, I was about to say
That's complicated. That's like 300 things you have to do, huh?
And that's why you want to start the record label?
Man, you know what? I didn't know you had to do all this. I didn't know what a distribution company was.
Damn, so you guys can see it's not for everybody.
I thought I was just going to be like Angel del Villar.
No, I'm kidding. Honestly, it's pretty interesting how like there's so many moving components to like a record label and a distribution. I think something that we've learned is getting on those playlists is probably one of the most crucial things that can help you develop as an artist. Something I just wanted to add in there.
Then switching up the topic, one of the coolest days of my life, low key, was when we all hung out. I think we posted a picture, and for the people that don't know, Andrew low key rich as fuck. We pulled up to his house. There was a Bugatti and a Pagani. That was crazy. I had never seen one.
Pagani, a Lambo,
SVJ, a Lambo,
Rolls Royce,
a GT3 RS.
and then we each got to drive. Well, we didn't get to drive, but we all got to.
Oh yeah,
drive.
no, I wouldn't drive that low key.
I went with Andrew in the Pagani, and that shit was crazy. Like, bro, it was crazy. Everybody turns like around,
this.
like they break their necks like crazy. Like, you know, like the old white viejitos.
Yeah.
Like, remember when we passed by
PCH?
like Javier's PCH?
Javier's?
Like, bro, everybody was like fucking breaking their necks and shit. And then one of the craziest things too that I noticed that day is that when we went to go eat, usually I feel like it's like, you know, like the Mexicans looking at like the rich white people, but it was like the opposite that day. You had all the like,
Yeah, because they would break their neck to look at the car, and then they would be like, huh, who in there? Yeah. And then like parking in the front and everything. I had never experienced that. How do you feel about the cars? Like, which one's your favorite?
Driving wise, the Bugatti.
The
By
Bugatti?
far. Yeah, for me, it's the smoothest and it's the fastest car. Some of the other ones are a little jerky, so it's like.
Yeah.
Damn, low key.
But like you said, you shouldn't be scared of driving them either. It just.
All right, so
it's
can I
there-
borrow it? You shouldn't be scared about letting me borrow it either.
when you have your own.
Yeah, true.
It's because it's like I just see it like any other car, of course, just with more speed. But like I said, don't be scared. It's because one of my dad's friends, sometimes he'll drive it and he's scared to drive it, and sometimes like we're all going like back to back from each other, and you see him like 10 cars behind. You see like little Prius passing him, like, and we end up calling him like, bro, hurry up, and he's like, bro, I'm scared to drive the car. But I'm like, you can't be scared to drive. Of course, it's a lot more pricier car, but you just have to treat it like any other car. Like,
Yeah.
how you drive it and everything.
Yeah, man,
it's a crazy experience.
And then you guys have like all these cars, but like personally, like which ones like have you bought, like, or that are your favorite, or that are yours?
The ones that are mine is the Urus and the Range Rover.
Damn, I want yours.
Are the ones I usually drive or use. But of course, I personally don't like borrowing the cars. And I feel comfortable driving any other car.
Yeah.
Because I usually get like driven every day, and I'd rather just be like that where I don't have to drive or worry about it.
Yeah.
Be in traffic.
True, traffic sucks.
Traffic from where I live to the office is hectic sometimes. It's an hour round trip every day. I mean, 2-hour round trip. Sorry.
Damn.
Yeah, so I feel like I don't know when we're ever gonna be able to ask someone that owns a Bugatti or Pagani, all those cool cars. Which one's the fastest one you've ever driven or been in?
For me, the fastest, the Bugatti by far.
Yeah, huh?
Yeah, it's the one that picks up the fastest.
Yeah, for like 2 weeks, every person willing to listen to me, I told them how that shit was crazy. I got to ride with your dad, and he probably stepped on it like I think just twice, like throughout the whole day. But it was
I don't like driving with my dad. He drives crazy.
no, he wasn't driving crazy that day.
But for me, I get scared when I drive with.
Yeah, I just remember he stepped on it like right when we got out of the parking lot. And it was like 100 miles an hour. I was like, but it just feels crazy. Like, it's different. It's not like a normal car.
Yeah, cause it picks up a lot faster. So
Yeah, no, that was
you really feel the
ridiculous.
speed in those cars, especially passenger. Feel it in your stomach, huh?
Yeah, no, I don't know what to think.
You feel it more as a passenger than the driver, huh?
Yeah, driver, you
Yeah.
don't feel nothing. When
Yeah.
you're driving as a passenger,
Yeah.
Damn. When I was in the GT3 RS, I was like fucking like
He was getting bullied all day that day, remember?
Oh, really?
Were they
Oh.
calling you like Huesos or some shit?
yeah,
flaco, no?
skeleton, West.
Skeleton.
Anything skinny, bro.
Yeah, that's funny.
And then what other, like, let's say what do you decide to like spend your money on, or like, like a guilty pleasure, as they say, or like a hobby or something like that?
Fuck. Let me think about that.
He's like, I bought a yacht on Tuesday.
Right now, I don't really spend it. I think before, of course, growing up, you'll spend it on, I think, dumb things like clothes or sometimes going out, stuff like that. Right now, just, I would say either watches is probably my guilty pleasure right now, or a car here and there. But no, I don't really try to overspend it as much as before, especially when I was younger. Before, I would
Damn.
always buy or going out constantly. Right now, I just try to calm down a lot more.
Yeah, so let's say going out and like, you're saying you kind of like regret it a little bit. Is there a time that comes to mind that you remember like, fuck, like the next day you're like, me pasé de verga, like take the card away, like lock me in a room, I'm never going out?
No, I never had an experience like that.
Okay, una más o menos.
Yeah.
Or that you remember, like, it was like, I don't know, like a lot of money at the club, like $10,000 or something like that.
I don't want to disclose that.
Damn.
I remember he told me the car. I remember.
He said TMI.
Yeah, because
guys.
we spent, like, what was it? How much we spent one time?
Oh, I live.
Not that much.
Bro, you're gonna laugh at
We're
it.
going to laugh at this.
We still haven't paid that
No,
shit
no,
off.
that's what I'm saying. Like, we're still hurting us.
You guys are still paying on Klarna?
Yeah, after pay Klarna and all of
Afterpay,
them.
yep.
Bank of America after us for that one. It was like, what, 4,000?
Just at the club?
Yeah. Or was it less?
Well, the whole trip in general, I think it was like 7,000. One day in Miami, just one day. Like literally, it wasn't even like 24 hours.
Like, comment,
like
subscribe, everybody,
fucking 16
please. No, it's crazy. I think, I don't know, they do like something at clubs. I just
Yeah,
want to
just
spend. I don't know.
It's the alcohol, bro. Trust.
Yeah, no, Chewy. Nah, I'm kidding.
It happens.
Do you have any hobbies, bro? Like, what do you like to do besides, the record label thing and spend money on watches?
To be honest, bro, right now, I think I'm more like, since I was always traveling when I was younger, I have free time right now, especially on weekends where I'm not traveling or as busy on the weekends. I'd rather just be home chilling, going with my family, visiting my mom, visiting my dad. I have two little siblings as well. I have Eden, who's 1.5 years, and then also Angela, who's 5. So I try to spend also time with them since they're the smallest ones. And then besides that, of course, also my other brothers with my mom, and I also try to spend time with them as well when I can.
That's right. Very family orientated. I like that. That's
Yeah, I
cool.
feel like that's so important too, because I mean, I feel like we're busy, but not like, I'm pretty sure you have like a lot of things going on. But I feel like one of the things that's important is like family, because like you have like all these artists you got to take care of. They're basically like your kids, so you got to take care of them. You got to be managing them like 24/7. All their attention, yeah. So I feel like family is one of the most important things, but the most important thing,
Yeah, and then once you take on this role, like I was thinking, how presidents say like, oh, my first 100 days in office, like this is what I'm gonna get done. Like as soon as you walk in there, CEO Dell Records, like what is the first things you're doing?
I feel like it's not, I wouldn't say the first things, because it's already been like where my dad's given me a lot of liberty throughout the years, or even more these past couple months. And I think, of course, I try to change certain things that my dad would do, because of course you have to evolve and do different things to stay more relevant. So it could be a bunch of different things. We had a writing camp for the artists. Just basically all the artists we have signed, the newer artists. We had them all. We did a little camp at the office. They were there for like 6 days writing music. We're gonna probably do another one in December, just to get more content, especially them being at the office, because I know sometimes they're like, hey bro, when we're not there, like they feel like not left out, but it's more like where they don't feel as united, just because everybody's all so far away, and especially when they're together, they could all be creative, they could all write together, and just things like that.
Has there been an instance like you were saying right now that you kind of tell your dad like, hey, like things are kind of being done like this, or this is like the new way? And
no, it's just more like I think we talk a lot, and we just get ideas off of each other. Like I'll be like, hey, what do you think about this or that? Or he'll tell me, and then we pretty much just piggyback off of each other and just see, of course, what way we want to do it and what not to do.
Yeah, that's super dope. And something about, having a record label is seeing what's coming, what's the next wave. What do you think is next for Música Mexicana? What do you think is going to be the next wave?
That's something, of course, there's a lot of different things. You have artists like, you could say, Victor Mendeville, and it's something different. Of course, Yair was something that's very different. There's always going to be new waves, something different coming up. And we've seen in the past where there's always a new wave every couple years. So it just, of course, we just have to see, analyze, and try to catch it before it takes off.
And you and your dad have been in the music game for such a long time. When you guys see an artist, like, do you just know? Like, they're going to be successful?
Yeah, you could say there's been artists like either I catch or my dad catches like before they're successful. And there's been times where I'm like, Dad, we should sign him. And sometimes, of course, he's busy just with his own things, either personal or just or with other artists that he doesn't, of course, see. And it's likewise with him. He'll be like, hey, what do you think about them? And I'm like, yeah. And then, of course, it just, like I said, we just try to also piggyback off of each other.
And have you guys ever signed? Well, basically what you said, can you name like any artists that you guys that maybe that you told your dad or your dad told you and you were like no, or vice versa, and like this artist just ended up popping off?
Yeah, like for me, it's been a couple. Like I told my dad, a Grupo Firme before they took off, Grupo Frontera before they took off, and recently Tambochio. I think like also before he really made that big step as well.
Yeah, it's crazy. Tombochio music's
Oh, so you brought up Tambochio
Yeah.
to your dad.
Like I think maybe a year and a half ago.
Mm.
Roughly.
Damn.
It's been a while.
Something that's very interesting about this industry is like the pace. It's super hard to keep up with, but I feel like when you're in the moment and you get it right, I think it's a beautiful thing. I think that's the beauty about this industry. It's like magic almost.
Yeah. And do you have any goals like set for next year, like with the label? Or is there like an artist you want to develop and like you would want to see them like in the top 10 charts or something
Yeah,
like
of course. We always have goals, and there's I think a lot of our artists, like I mentioned, have potential. And it's just to break one or two of the artists is I think our goal as a team to develop them and break them by next year. And like I said, we have I think a pretty good roster. They're all like I know they're not big names right now, but I can see the potential in the future in them where they could reach that.
Yeah, because this is a long game, huh? It's not something that's
Yeah.
like, oh, you sign it right away, you're going to be the next big star in the world.
Yeah, I wish.
And something that we had to talk about while we had you here is about your dad and, you know, like the legal case that's been going on. You know, I feel like most of us have seen it on the news. How has that process been like for you? I know that's it must be a very tough situation.
Yeah, of course, and we're always gonna stand by my dad and always be here supportive. I know, of course, that's why I'm also stepping up and being there for him and for the company as well. So, like I said, we just all have to be positive and always can't have a negative mindset going into this.
And personally, how do you feel when you see, you know, hundreds of people, you know, talking about your dad? Some stuff is, you know,
False.
it's false, or, you know, just like negative criticism or you know, just talking shit. Like,
Yeah.
how does that make you feel?
It's like how I mentioned earlier. People are gonna talk no matter what, and nobody's gonna know the truth besides us. So it's like we're not gonna. Well, especially me, I'm gonna talk for myself. I'm not gonna be here and be upset or mad or whatever. What people are saying is, like I said, there's always gonna be bad publicity. There's always gonna be bad comments getting towards you, a lot of hate, and well, it is what it is. Especially like if you're in this industry, you're gonna get always a lot of hate if you do good or bad. So I just try not to let it get to me, and it doesn't get to me at all.
Yeah, and I think your dad is you know, he's a huge player in this business. You know, he even has like his own fans. You know, I think people that, you know, like stand by him like that. How is he holding up? How would you say? ¿Tú qué lo ves?
My dad is a very positive person. He's holding up well. Nunca se va a doblar, and like I said, he's always been positive, and he just keeps on moving forward. Even to this day, he's always working no matter what.
And then also you mentioned, you know, you stepped up because of what's going on. Did you have to step up sooner because of what happened, or were those the plans originally?
The plan was it was always gonna come one day. We just never knew when. And I've been stepping up, of course, even before everything that's happened. I've always been a major part of the company. Like I said, I've been working with the guys every day. We're always there making decisions with him being there, not being there. These last couple months or years, so it's always, of course, it's just never been, I would say, the title, but it's I've always been there with the guys, and of course I've always stepped up when I needed to.
Yeah.
So it's more of a title then, like a title change or something a little more symbolic, and it's not where maybe you weren't involved at all. Like you've been, you know.
Yeah, like I said, I've been involved for countless years already, but it's of course now taking that major step, like doing stuff like this, putting myself out as more, because at the end of the day, I'm gonna have to be the new face of the company as well.
And then, with your dad, leaving, have you prepared yourself for it? I mean, I don't know how someone could prepare for something like that, but have you damn, I don't know how to explain this.
Maybe emotionally.
Like maybe what's
Yeah.
your mindset or something like that?
No, like I said, try not to think about that and just being positive. Always have a positive mindset and just keep on moving forward. You can't let those negative thoughts, of course, uno se agüite, pero it is what it is, and you just have to be positive and just keep on moving forward.
And where do you get that energy to keep moving forward and being so
It's
positive?
From my dad. He's always been a positive person, and como siempre me dice, si él no me doble, también nosotros. If I don't see him worried, why am I going to be worried? So just to keep on moving forward it's we have, like I said, it just in every aspect, just keep moving forward.
Very true.
Well, more than anything, we want to congratulate you. Thank you for taking the time to be here. It means a lot to us. Like you said, you and your dad have done a lot for Música Mexicana. And more than anything, thank you for your time. Congrats on all the success that you guys have had. And anything you guys want to add? Or do you have a message for the people watching this video?
I would say just always be positive and never let, of course, things get to you. Because at the end of the day, when you let things get to you, it puts you on a negative mindset and you just start overthinking. So just always be positive and never let bad things or negative energy get to you.
Yeah,
That's right.
Well, once again, thank you for your time.
Thank you
for letting us be one of the first interviews. The news
definitely.
is already out. Well, I mean, it's not out yet, but by the time you guys are watching,
Yeah, you're gonna have to get used to interviews.
Yeah.
So, thank you for your time. Shout out to you and your dad. You guys were also one of the first labels who reached out to us, took us to one of our first concerts, and
I remember
invited us to the offices
That
and
was
gave us
sick.
merch. But yeah, thank you to everyone who watched to the very end. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Vamos a
Follow
hacer
the
fiesta,
records.
Andrew.
Follow
And before this ends, I want to give a huge round of applause to the new CEO of Dell Records.
Thank you guys.
Vamos a hacer pachanga.
Pachanga, pachanga. Peace out, guys.